So this is not just another episode on digital transition. This is about what's missing, what's next, and why innovation is the only way forward in this digital transition thing. Because digital isn't a destiny, but actually it's a fight. A fight that Europe might lose unless it reinvents how it deploys research and how it funds research. So today I'll take you through these challenges and I'll take you through a conversation with Efthymios Serpetzoglou. I hope I'm terrible with the names. He's an innovation consultant in Athens. He's a 5G strategist and he's a cybersecurity insider. His experience in this area is very interesting, and I'm sure we can learn a lot from this interview. I did. Finally, we'll look at an Horizon call that's open and could fund your next breakthrough in democracy tech. Maybe we should call it Demotech. What do you think? 82 million. 82 million on the table for this group of calls. So I hope after this episode you'll walk away better informed and maybe better funded. Welcome to this new episode of InnovEU, the EU project Chronicles. Please share with your friends. Please subscribe the channel and welcome again. Let's go. So, you keep hearing digital transition in every EU policy, in every EU document, in every politician's speech, right? But what does it actually mean? What does a successful digital transition look like? It looks like we embarked on this journey, this transition, and nobody is really sure where it's leading. How do we know we are already there? What makes a successful transition? And most importantly, why does everything depend on research and innovation? Most importantly for this video, of course. So let's break it down. According to the European Commission, the digital transition means that we'll have a future where every person, every business, every public authority will be using trusted digital technologies to build a resilient, climate neutral, and globally competitive Europe. So not just gadgets, not just apps, but a systemic transformation of the whole continent. And this is the important part. The Commission defines a successful digital transition as one based on empowerment of citizens, on technological leadership, leading to a more resilient and prosperous society. Okay, that's the official vision. What they mean, or how do they measure success? They use these 4 big targets, which are called the cardinal points of the digital compass. So first, digital skills. The goal is by 2030, 5 years from now, they want 80% of adults with basic digital skills. And they want 20 million ICT specialists with gender balance. That's a lot of people, right? So second, digital infrastructures. That means they want gigabit internet for every home in Europe, 5G everywhere, 10,000 green edge nodes, and the first European quantum computer. Third, digital transformation of business. So they want 75% of EU companies using cloud, AI, or big data. They want 90% of SMEs with basic digital readiness and 250 EU-based unicorns. EU-based, not EU started and then migrated to the US. EU-based. And finally, fourth point, the digital public services. They want all key services online all citizens with access to their e-health data, and 80% of Europeans using digital ID. So these are not just buzzwords. They're also buzzwords, but they are scorecards. If Europe doesn't hit them by 2030, we can say the digital transition fails. Okay, there will be some painting and some greenwashing of this, wrong expression, but let's hope we achieve these results. And well, here's why this is relevant for this podcast. This is where research and innovation comes in. Why do we need to talk about this? Because there's a lot missing. None of this is going to happen with the existing solutions. Research and innovation are required if these goals are going to be achieved. So they define a systematic, this is a quote, a systematic and forward-looking research and innovation strategy is crucial. That's the Commission's own words. Because if we think about it, how do you get a quantum computer without quantum research? How do you build 10,000 climate-neutral edge nodes without research and innovation on low-power chips and materials? How do you convince 75% of companies to adopt AI or big data if the AI or big data tools are not trustworthy, tested, and tailored to their sector? You don't, right? So let's look at some of the 2030 targets and what they really demand, what they require. Quantum computer needs breakthroughs in error connection. Chips, Europe wants 20% of global value, but that needs new pilot lines and fabrication. AI update, well, that depends on trustworthy tools, and for that, new projects are clearly required. So what's missing? In my view, a pipeline. A pipeline is missing because right now we have Horizon funding to invent, we have Digital Europe funding to deploy, then you have InvestEU to scale, but these are not integrated, and a lot is missed, a lot goes down on the way. Too often research stops at the paper, or deployment starts from scratch, from zero. And that's a lot of waste. So we need mission-driven research and innovation that already includes companies, cities, and public services. And we need that from day one. Without research and innovation, we won't have edge computing, no quantum, no sovereign chips, no real AI adoption. And that means no digital success story in the 2030, no success in the digital transition. At least that's how I see it. I would love to hear about your view on this on the comments. Bye. So, welcome back to InnovEU, the EU Project Chronicles. Welcome, Efthymios. I hope I'm getting your name right. Thank you for being here, and thank you for joining us. You are based in Athens, and you are working in two companies. Will you tell us a little bit about yourself first, and then what do these companies do?
Hello, my name is Efthymios, as you said. First of all, thank you for this invitation. Nice to meet you. Okay, let's go back a little bit at 2006, from 2006 up to 2012. I did my diploma thesis, my diploma in applied mathematics and physical science in National Technical University of Athens, with a specialization in physics, and more specifically in optoelectronics and nuclear physics. Then continued my studies at the same institute, at the same school, at the same department, with a master at microsystem and nanodevices, in focusing on biosensors. And then I pursued a PhD at the University of Crete in physics department. I worked at Forth and Foundation of Research and Technology, Hellas. And my focus was on perovskite solar cells. And then, after completing my PhD, I did 1.5 year my postdoc research in smart glasses, and then I did my transition. I stepped to optoelectronics, to telecoms, from optoelectronics to telco, and I worked as a cloud consultant engineer. And since 2023, I've been working as an innovation consultant at my InnovEU Consulting, and from April of 2024, I also served as an R&D project manager at Apart. And most recently, I have embarked on an MBA to further, let's say, enhance my business and strategy and leadership skills.
So you wouldn't mind if I say that you have a strong tech background? Okay, so go on, please.
More specifically in physics, yes.
Okay. So what do you do?
Now,
these companies you're working with.
Okay, let's start with my basic company. This is Apart. I'm working, as I said, as an R&D project manager. I'm responsible for 5 projects, 3 on 5G, beyond 5G and 6G projects, 1 for the energy and 1 in cybersecurity. As an R&D project manager, I'm responsible to participate in meetings, to transfer the idea from the meetings to tech team, to prepare the deliverables, to present our work, to participate in plenaries, in kickoffs, to evaluate and to, let's say, to be able to prepare and do our job within the deadlines.
So you started working with the EU projects right away. When did you start?
Okay, as a student, as a PhD student, I started around 2016. When I did my PhD, I had to trigger some experiments regarding the perovskite solar cells, and these experiments were part of EU project. So my first, let's say, contact with EU projects is from 2016. But in order to work as an R&D project manager is the last year. Last 1.5 year, 1 year and a half.
So what do you do? Oh, no, let me put it in a different way. What does how you call it? Wait a second. My EU Innovation Consultant. What
my InnovEU Consulting.
My InnovEU Consulting.
Okay. In this company, I'm working as an innovation consultant. So what we have to do? Let's say, imagine that a startup needs a funding. So the European Union has different, let's say, pillars in order to submit a proposal and to receive the funding. So as an innovation consultant, as an end proposal writer, we have communication with the startup. We receive the information regarding the startup, the mission, the vision, let's say, the state of the art, beyond state of the art, the problem, the technical team that they have, budget, etc. And we prepare the proposal in order to submit it for the accelerators, for the European accelerators, in order to take the fund.
So you work with the EIC and
yes.
That's what you're talking about. So what's been your experience working with these accelerators?
Before moving to my consulting, I didn't have any experience, but I had experience in proposal writing. So during my PhD and my postdoc, I have submitted multiple, let's say, projects for national and European consortium and funds. So this is how I've started with EIC. And from then I around 2 years experience for the EIC.
Yeah, and how's that been going on? What's your feedback? Do you advise, that's the main question. Do you advise other people to, if they have that kind of project, to go to this EIC acceleration?
It's very important. The idea is only for startups in order to receive a fund or equity. So if a startup needs funding, yeah, but it's necessary, it's very important, it's mandatory to have, let's say, a well-organized plan. What I mean is very important to find the real problem, to have a real solution, and to present data inside and outside of the quotes regarding the TRLs, the work packages, the technical team, the hiring process, all let's say the requirements that a company must.
So it's a demanding
comply.
process. That's
Yeah.
what you're saying. It's okay. Well, it should be. But do you have any way of comparing this process with what would an American startup do? You see where I'm going?
To be honest, no, because I don't have any experience about American startups. So let's say, imagine that the process in US maybe it will be easier because there are a lot of venture capitals, a lot of funds. So I guess it will be easier to receive the funding. But at the same time, the US is more competitive area regarding the startups. So you have to balance. There is a balance between this.
So in this experience you've had, is there one project that really stands out that's your favorite, or somehow it's more important than the others? Is there one you want to especially talk about?
I cannot say that one of the other project is more important. I can say because the three projects, as I said, is about the 5G, 6G, and beyond 5G technologies that are mandatory in this era. So all of us, we need more and more faster, let's say, telcos and speeds in internet. I'm participating in an energy project, so it's very important to follow the regulations regarding the energy, the environmental, and all that requirements. But if I can say my favorites about the cybersecurity, because it's a very hot, this is my opinion, okay? It's very hot and sector with increased interesting. So in order all the device, independent if this is hardware or software, to be compliant with the acts. So not year, very soon any act will be can be updated. So in order the software, the hardware, the devices, and the overall, let's say, device, meaning including the software and the hardware, should be compliant with these acts, and this is very important. And this is my opinion. Once again, it's very interesting because you have to follow specific regulations. So you have to examine the software and the hardware with specific platforms that are compliant with these regulations in order to detect possible vulnerabilities, to find solutions how to overpass and overcome these issues. So if I can say, this is my favorite project.
Cybersecurity. Okay.
Yeah, cybersecurity.
And I can see why. But let me go back to the energy, and because there's this new reality coming upon us called the EU Green Claims Directive. Aren't you worried about what your clients might or your partners might be claiming about the project being green? And Aren't you worried about this new directive? Are you familiar with it?
I'm a little bit familiar, but I am not worried about this because, as you know, there are many acts, regulations that should be followed in order to have more and more and more green uh, environment. So recently, I read an article about the Glastonbury Festival, music festival, that is becoming greener and greener through the years. So this is something that has to be adopted from all of us in order to, let's say, to decrease the emissions, the pollution, to have zero footprint and emissions. So with one or another way, we have to follow and we have to be familiarized with these regulations and acts.
Okay, so you think it's just one more regulation that we need to comply with? Okay,
exactly.
Thank you for that. So let me go back to your activities. What is APART? What are you doing?
Okay. APART is an SME funded in 2012 and specializing is an SME specializing in 10 key software application and solutions for telcos, health, energy, later on cybersecurity participating in this EU project, serving both private and public sector clients. So the company from 2012 has steadily grown to combine technological experts with business insights and offering solution in business intelligence, contextual marketing, next generation communication, and e-health. So in addition to custom-made software and on-demand professional services, APART at the same time actively engages in, as I said, in EU projects. We have 5 at the moment with a strong focus on data analytics. So the first project for the company was in 2019. And as I said, now we have 5 EU projects.
Okay.
3 in 5G, 6G, beyond 5G, 1 in energy and 1 in cybersecurity. This project, just to conclude about this project, are funded under the European Commission, the Smart Networks Service Joint Undertaken, SNSJU, the Energy, Climate, Infrastructure and Environment Executive Agency, SINEA, and the European Union in general.
Okay. So, what's your view about the European innovation velocity? Let's call it this way. Is Europe actively creating new technologies, new products, innovating, or is it stagnant? What's your view? You work in this area, so that's why I have to ask.
In these 3 areas that I'm working, are very hot. What I mean, because one project is in energy, so we have to find different solutions by replacing, let's say, the traditional ways to have zero emission, zero footprint. So we have somehow to find new technologies, new ways that we elaborate with the technologies in order to decrease these footprints.
That's part of the green transition.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
That's part of the green transition.
Yes. Yeah, sure. The other project is about the cybersecurity. For this, for sure, we have to discover something new in order to, let's say, to overcome these vulnerabilities, these possible threats, etc. And the other part is the 5G, 6G, in which we have to, for sure, to find new ways, new technologies in order to increase the speed of the internet, to have the collaboration of the different test bed of the different 5G networks to let's say to decrease the bandwidth, to increase let's say the speed, the update, the uplink, the downlink. So in these three areas, we have to discover something new.
So these two later areas are part of the digital transition, let's call it this way, and that's where the Commission has been putting a lot of money, a lot of incentive.
Yeah, exactly.
And what you're saying is that those areas are very active. Okay, so that's a good bet for anyone who wants to start a career.
Exactly.
What would your advice be for newcomers, people who want to have these great ideas for products that will change the world? How can they fund those ideas? What's your advice?
So if I can advise anyone, if you are new to EU projects, my advice would be to stay curious, proactive, and open to learning. So these projects can, let's say, seem complex at first because maybe it's a new, let's say, field for you, for any newcomer. So these projects can seem complex at first, especially with all the specific terminology and administrative requirements that these projects have. But they offer a great, let's say, a great chance to collaborate internationally in the European Union and contribute meaningful innovation. So take the time to understand the structure of the project, the roles of each partner, the expectation from the European Commission. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Most people involved in EU projects are supportive and willing because they have already passed from your, let's say, position. So they are supportive and willing to share their experience. It's necessary to have good communication, especially with partners with different culture, to be clear and consistent in your updates. And most importantly, enjoy the process. So be patient and trust the process, and finally you will really enjoy it.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your plans for the future. What would you like to do? You don't mind if we put your contacts in the notes of the episode so that people can get in touch with you?
Yes, of course. I can send you any contact that you want. Yeah, sure. In the future, I would like to strengthen my knowledge in EU projects, in strategy, business development, so that I can understand all the steps of a successful project. I have experience in proposal writing, in implementation, for deliverables, risk, etc. So I have to strengthen my knowledge with strategy, business development, in order to have the full set for writing, implementation, reporting, how the outcomes can be turned into a complete product that truly help users. And this is the reason I started an MBA, in order to support my future plans.
Okay, so you are betting all your chips in these three areas where you've been working. That's your idea for the future.
Not only this, I want to let's say, to strengthen my knowledge into the fundamentals: writing process, implementation, strategy, business development. So if you have these pillars, you can focus in multiple fields. It doesn't matter if you are focusing in 5G, in energy, in cybersecurity. The only difference is to be familiar with the regulations, with what European Commission and its project want to comply with.
Okay. Thank you very much for this interview. Is there any final message you want to close with? Any final idea?
No, just if we're talking about the EU project, just enjoy the process.
I like that.
Be patient and enjoy the process.
You said that before. I really like that message because I share your opinion. This is the process is very important.
Exactly.
And it's usually very enjoyable. I have to say that most of my best friends nowadays are people I met in EU projects because you tend to find very, very open, very bright people in this project.
Exactly. And through the EU projects, because each EU project, every, let's say, 3 to 6 months, it will have a plenary. It will have a plenary, so you can meet different cultures, different people, different, let's say, ideas. So be patient. You will be familiarized in 6 months, in 1 year, and enjoy the process. This is my, let's say, my message.
Okay, thank you very much, Efthymios.
Me
Thank you
too,
for this
Fernando.
interview. And okay, your contacts will be in the podcast notes, so people who want to reach you can find you in the notes.
Sure.
And I hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and hope to see you again.
You want transformation, not another info dump, right? Today I'll show you 12 Horizon Europe calls that can fund bold ideas on democracy, governance, media, education, and civil society. We'll break down what's in it for you, how to avoid the usual traps and tap into 82 million euros in EU money before the 16th of September. These calls come under Cluster 2, Culture, Creativity, and Inclusive Society. But forget soft policy talk. This is about hard funding for countering disinformation, boosting civic engagement, dealing with autocracy, hate, and inequality, reinventing education, science, diplomacy, and more. And yes, it's 100% funding RIAs and CSAs. Let's go. Call code Horizon CL 2025-01 opens. The 15th of May 2025, deadline the 16th of September 2025 at 17:00 CET. Who can apply? RIA, 3 legal entities, 3 countries, EU or associated CSA, even single orgs can apply. But it's better to build a strong mixed team. Funding rates 100% where funding and tenders portal. For all details, go there after this episode. 1. Disinfo Advisory Network, CSA. Nobody's helping practitioners turn EU-funded research into real-world tools. Create a EU Disinfo help desk. Budget 3.5 million euros. Include EDMO nodes, journalists, NGOs. 1. Science Diplomacy, CSA. Build a European science diplomacy hub. Mix early career researchers, diplomats, trainers. 3 million euros. 1. Future EU enlargement, RIA. Partners from Balkans, Moldova, Ukraine, Turkey, or Georgia required. Explore what drives citizen support or resistance. 10.5 million euros for 3 projects. 1. Open Strategic Autonomy, RIA. Tools to balance open science and security. Not tech. Policy, law, research, security. SSH plus innovation alliances. 1. Radicalization and polarization, RIA. Online plus offline strategies. AI plus community work. 10.5 million euros across 3 projects. 1. Anti-Semitism and Jewish Life Hub, CSA Pan-European Observatory. Includes scholars, digital tools, cultural outreach. 1. Autocratic Appeal, RIA. Why do people support autocrats? Build early warning and resistance tools. 10.5 million euros, 3 projects. 1. Inequality and Democracy, RIA. Match perception and reality. Pilot real local responses. 1. Free speech versus disinfo, RIA. Legal versus tech challenge. Design safeguards for real-world use. Work with DSA-aligned partners. 1. Civic and citizenship education, RIA. Must involve real educators and civic actors. Pilots that actually transform political education. 1. Rule of law and judiciary independence, RIA. Cross-border benchmarks. Real work with legal professionals. 1. Democracy community, CSA. Only 1 grant, bring it all together. Create a lasting EU platform. Now let's be blunt. Most proposals lose not because of bad ideas, but because of weak partnerships, copy-paste narratives, no proof you can scale, impact, build teams with. Academics, NGOs, media cities, educators, legal players, mix evidence with pilots, add impact multipliers, and start matchmaking now, not in September.
InnovEU, the EU Project Chronicles, is a weekly video podcast. Please subscribe to the Polixox newsletter to receive every podcast episode. And if you like receiving it, please press like in whatever platform you are watching or listening. Also, please share InnovEU and Polixox with anyone you feel will Enjoy it. Credits, author and host Fernando C. Gaspar, music Hugo Gaspar, Lisbon, Portugal, 2024. Reach us by email or DM.